Hi, it's Caitlin and I'm here with swatches of some new Rogue Lacquer polishes. I've got a new quad that releases on August 11th. It is a cup of deliciousness. Everything's inspired by yummy drinks, which I can definitely get behind. And I also have swatches of their Neon Hot Mess Express collection, which is perfect for summer. We have a little bit of time left before it turns to fall, but I wanted to show those off for you. I will link the Rogue Lacquer shop in the description, and I think I said it already, but maybe I didn't. The Cuppa Deliciousness quad will launch on August 11th in the Rogue Lacquer shop, and the Neon Hot Mess Express neons are currently available either as a set or individually. So let's get into the swatches. Let's start with the Cuppa Deliciousness polishes. So there are 4 in the collection and they're all inspired by yummy drinks. And this first one is called Taro Milk Tea. And this one is described as a creamy pale purple crelly with purple to pink glass flake. So as you can see, this one does apply on the sheer side, but it will build up pretty well in 3 coats. However, of course, you can choose your own adventure, choose how you want to wear these polishes, but they are sort of in that milky sheer category, so you could definitely leave them in 2 coats if you want a sheer look, but if you apply a third, you'll get more depth of color and, of course, more of those flakes. So I'm going to show these glossy as well as matte. I'm using the Cuticula Limitless Top Coat for the glossy look. And as you can see, the glass flakes do have a tiny bit of texture, but glossy top coat will smooth it out and it will also not be difficult to remove. And for the matte, I'm using the Cuticula Cloud Cover Matte Top Coat, which I love. And here you can see how it looks matte. It's actually really pretty matte. It definitely impacts that milky look to it. And here it is, glossy, showing it off in some different lighting. This is a really pretty shade of purple. It's definitely pastel, and the pink flakes really glow quite intensely, so it's a nice contrast. Next up, of course, we have chai latte. I am a big chai latte fan, specifically an oat milk chai latte, because I think everybody just is obsessed with oat milk, but it's just objectively good. So why wouldn't you love it? I'm sure a lot of people still like cow's milk, but if you're doing non-dairy, you've just got to do oat when it comes to drinks. So chai latte is a creamy pale coffee toned crelly with orange to gold glass flake. And I would definitely say this one is not reading as coffee per se to me, like a super, super milky coffee maybe, but it's more of a yellowy beige. At least that's how it pulls on my skin tone. I thought this one was good in 2 coats. You can, of course, add more if you want, but you can see that it pretty much covered everything for me in the 2 coats. And just like the last one, the flakes are a tiny bit textured, but top coat will smooth everything out. And here you can see this one matte. Definitely looks more like a latte when it's matted down. And here it is glossy, so you can see the flakes. This one's like surprisingly close to my skin tone, so if you have a similar skin tone to me, this would definitely be probably a neutral / nude for you. And this one is really pretty in the sun. I really like the way that those glass flakes catch the light. Next we have Matcha Latte, which is something that I want to like, but haven't quite found a matcha latte that I like yet. I don't know, I just find it a little too earthy tasting for my preferences. But this one is described as a creamy matcha green crelly with green to gold glass flake. And This one has a beautiful formula. This one's definitely my favorite out of all of the latte inspired polishes. I really like the formula. I also like just super duper love the flakes in there. And this one builds up really nicely. Again, depending on how you like it, I'd probably leave it at 2, but if you build it up to 3, you can see you get a ton more of the glass flake, and it also slightly intensifies the green color. So this is a super bright green. It's not quite neon, but it's close. And the flakes in this one seem to be more plentiful than in the other two. It could have just been an illusion, but it seemed like they were more plentiful in this one. So I really like this one glossy. That's sort of my vote for how to wear it. But it also looks super cool with the matte top coat. So I will be curious to hear in the comments which finish you prefer. And here's the polish glossy again. So you can see the shift in those glass flakes. They really are gorgeous at more extreme angles. You get a green. I love the way it kind of almost looks like ice cubes in a plastic cup if you were having matcha latte in a clear glass. I just think it's a really cool polish. And here we have strawberry milk tea, which I have never had, but I think it sounds delicious. And it is described as a creamy pale pink with pink to orange glass flake. So I have like a mild addiction to bubble tea, but I don't drink it very much just because I guess it's still a lot of sugar. I pretty much mostly only drink water, which is so boring when you say it out loud. But when it comes to bubble teas, I love anything, again, with oat milk, something like lychee, or I've had taro bubble tea and it's so delicious. I think I also had one which had some sort of like mashed sweet potato in it, and that was one of the best ones I've ever had. So I'm always looking for a very high quality gourmet bubble tea. So if you know of any in the Toronto area, leave a recommendation. But my favorite right now is Yifang. It's just like, you can't beat it in my opinion. So this one I built up in 3 coats. It definitely has a strawberry milk vibe to it, which I think Rachel did a great job of capturing in this polish. And again, those glass flakes kind of behave almost like ice cubes reflecting the light. It's just really fun. And here it is matte on 2 random fingers because I think I took it off my index nail before I remembered to film it. And here it is glossy. You can just see how beautiful and vibrant those orange glass flakes are. They're really shifty and just a beautiful complement to the polish. I love pink, so I do really like this one. It's leaning a little bit purple. And now we're moving into the Neon Hot Mess Express collection, which is a 10-piece set of neons. They're also available individually. And this first one is called Your Hot Mess is Showing. The names are really, really funny. And this one is just described as a bright magenta pink cream. So this has a really great formula. It covered very well in one coat. I didn't even use a base coat to swatch these, but I was really impressed with the formulation. Probably some of the better neons that I have used in a good amount of time. You will note that these dry down matte, and I am going to show these polishes both glossy and matte. For anyone who's curious, I do think neons look really good matte, but if you're going to leave them matte, I would recommend using a matte top coat because it just mattens it further than if you just leave it with nothing, if that makes any sense. So here it is, both glossy and matte. This one is super bright. Next up is Perfectly Imperfect, and this one is a bright aqua cream. which is something I don't see often in neon collections. So I was really happy to see this. It is very, very bright. It has a beautiful formula, as you can see, pretty much opaque in one coat. I would say some of these are one coaters if you were to use a base coat, but if not, you can apply them in 2 coats like you're seeing me do here. And these self-level really well. I don't know why I did 3 coats on this one, to be honest. That's really weird. I have no idea. I really don't know why I did 3 coats. There must have been some reason, but I definitely think this could have been left in 2. And again, for the glossy top coat, I'm using Cuticula Limitless, which dries so quickly. Honestly, when I was swatching, I might have got distracted for 5 minutes and it was just totally dry already. And I also love the Cuticula Matte Top Coat, which is what I'm using on my second nail there. As you can see, it is super matte when it dries down. Moving along, we have Beautifully Chaotic. This is the yellow in the collection. It's described as a neon yellow cream. And out of the entire collection, this one was probably the most problematic. And by problematic, I mean it just was the least self-leveling out of all of them. I did definitely need 3 with this one, and you can see it sort of has those like patchier dark spots where the coverage wasn't totally leveled out. But again, neon yellows and yellow creams in particular are notoriously difficult, so this was no more difficult than any other neon yellow. And I think I got like a tiny bit of pigment chunk on my middle nail, but that was mostly an anomaly when I was swatching this collection. So you can see where after the second coat, it still had some of those darker spots, so I went in with a 3rd coat. Thankfully, these polishes do dry quickly, so it's not difficult to build it up. And you can see now on the 3rd coat, it's pretty opaque and smooth and even. And especially after applying the top coat, it really smooths everything out and creates a beautiful finish. I think I prefer this one glossy just because I feel like it makes it look even brighter. Here we have Spicy Disaster, which is a pretty funny name. This one is a bright strawberry pink cream. And this one, I don't know, it kind of took my breath away. The formula was perfect. It practically applied itself. It glides on the nail. It's just so easy to work with and so beautiful. It was really fluid, but it wasn't running. And as you can see, it was pretty much opaque in one coat, but I'm doing 2 just because why not? And this is super bright. I don't have any bright colors like this in my collection, so I was really happy to see this. It wasn't sort of the typical neon color you'd expect. So it's almost a red, but more into that strawberry pink territory. And here it is, both glossy and matte. This one, again, I'm digging it glossy versus matte. Next up, we have Everything is Fine. And this one is a neon orange cream, which I don't doubt for a second was inspired by that meme of the dog where everything's on fire and the dog saying everything's fine. We've all felt that before, I'm sure. So this one also, stunning formula, super easy to apply, very bright. I did adjust my camera brightness for all of these to make sure they were looking the same on my screen as they did on my nails for accuracy. And this one is just a super bright orange. There is another orange in the collection, but this one is the lighter orange.
And this one, I really liked it in 2 coats. I thought the coverage was really good, and with the top coat, it just smoothed everything out and made it look really beautiful. So again, you can see it glossy and matte. Here we have another interesting polish in the collection for neons. I really like this one. This one is called Lukewarm Regards, and it's a bright blue cream. This one also had a beautiful formula. It's probably the closest thing I've seen to a neon blue. And I'm apologizing because hopefully you can still hear me with the construction noise that's happening in my neighborhood. It's like there's no peace or quiet ever, and it makes me want to go live in the middle of a forest. So this one applies beautifully in 2 coats. It covered really well on the first coat, but I think 2 is a better bet. And this one is not quite that Sally Hansen Pacific Blue, but it's kind of close. It's just a really gorgeous, striking blue polish that stands out on your nails, which I think is really fun every once in a while. If I'm going to wear a cream, I want it to be really bright. So here it is. I actually really like this one matte for some reason, so I might try wearing it matte one day. Next up, we have Hot and Bothered, and this one is described as a bright red-orange cream. So this one, I said there was another orange. This one is leaning a little more peachy compared to Everything Is Fine. And again, a really good formula. It went on well. Oh no, that's not good. They're drilling. Hopefully you'll be able to still hear me. Oh no. Anyway, I'm bothered. I'm not hot. I am hot because it's summer and I'm sweating, but I'm mostly bothered right now. So this one is good in 2 coats. I will recommend top coat for all of these, like I already have. Your choice, glossy or matte. And this one is another unique orange in my collection of neons. I don't have anything quite this color. It's just a really interesting peachy orange. Here we have another pink. This one is I'm the Problem, It's Me. And this one is described as simply a neon pink, but I would say this is almost a pastel neon pink. It's giving a little bit of Barbie. It has a beautiful formula. As you can see, goes on really, really evenly on the first coat, dries down matte. I'll recommend a second coat, but this one is really fun and super, super bright. My nails were very short when I was filming this, but I love super bright neons on short nails. I think it looks really fun. Why am I doing a third coat? I don't even know what I was thinking. Like, it looks fine to me in 2, but I'm the problem, I guess. I felt like there was a third coat needed, but I don't know why. So after the 3 coats, you can see me applying top coat, and I can't tell if matte top coat makes the polish look darker or lighter. Sometimes I'm really bad at colors, which is not good because I have a nail polish YouTube channel and I don't understand color theory still. Here we have a neon green in the collection. This one's Sorry Not Sorry, a neon lime green cream. Shout out to Demi Lovato. This one is super, super bright. It's pretty much a classic neon green. It's very bright. It's not deepened. It's just classic. And this one has a good formula. Again, goes on smoothly. I didn't experience any staining with these polishes, which is another thing to note. I would use a base coat just to be careful, but I was just really impressed with the formula overall. And this one is definitely good in 2 coats. There's no way I did a third. No, that's what I thought. So as you can see, these do sort of have like a rubbery matte finish on their own. But for the purpose of longevity, you definitely want to use a top coat independently. And here it is, glossy or matte. I like this one glossy. And last but not least, we have Just Doing My Best. And this one is a bright purple cream. This one is so pretty. It was really hard to capture it accurately, so I had to do some color adjustments, but it's really this bright. I have nothing like it in my collection. The closest I have is an Orly, maybe from 2021, something Symphony. I don't really remember right now, but this one's brighter. So if you need a neon purple, check this one out. It's amazing. As you can see, it covered beautifully in 2 coats. And hopefully you're still here and haven't closed my video because of my neighbors who thought it was a good idea to get a pool and disturb me and my peace.
So all of the neons were super fun. I really enjoyed applying them. They had a really good formula. It was like really fluid, but it didn't tend to run, which I really appreciated. And most of them were 2 coaters, which is always good when it comes to neons. And from the Cuppa Deliciousness collection, I really loved Matcha Latte. I think it's really beautiful. I love the glass flakes in there. I love the green color, and it's just really bright for August. I want to get in as much bright nail polish as I can before summer ends, because I don't really consider myself a seasonal polish wearer, but there are just certain colors that feel right for summer in particular. So let me know in the comments what you think of these polishes. Let me know if you've already picked up the neons. Let me know your thoughts. And I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!